everyone, this is Amy. Welcome to my channel. Over the weekend, US Figure Skating sent out the Adult Competition Series Handbook for the 2021-2022 season. And I thought it would be a good opportunity to talk about that here on my channel. Now, I know a lot of you tune in for my unboxings or my fitness and nutrition content, but many of you also know I'm a figure skater and a PSA ranked and rated figure skating coach. So if this topic doesn't interest you, that's okay. You can skip this video. But for the rest of you that are interested in this, the Adult Competition Series is for skaters Basic 1 through Adult Bronze. The requirement is that you are a member of US Figure Skating or Learn to Skate USA and are over the age of 18 years old. Now, what makes this sort of interesting is that to test as an adult, you have to be 21 years old, but to compete as an adult, you only have to be 18 years old. So I know there's a lot of skaters out there that may have been interested in competing before and may have turned 18 in the past year or so. So this is a good opportunity if you are a member of US Figure Skating to try out the Adult Competition Series. The reason for the Adult Competition Series is that there are national championships for adult skaters, but you have to be adult silver or higher. And a lot of skaters just don't qualify for that, especially as an adult, because some of the stuff is really hard to do when you're an adult. As an answer to that, US Figure Skating, I believe the first one, pretty sure, the 2017 to 2018 season was the first time that they had started this adult competition series. And it gives skaters that are Basic 1 through Adult Bronze an opportunity to compete with other skaters. The mission of this program is to provide a meaningful series of events to encourage skaters from Basic 1 through Adult Bronze levels to enjoy a fun but competitive environment where they can experience the community of adult skating and continue to skate for the rest of their lives.
Adult Skate 2!
It used to be that you had to find a competition that was part of this series. But now, as long as the competition is sanctioned by US Figure Skating, which most are, and that they have the adult levels, you can use that competition to qualify for the series. But the catch is, and this has always been true, you have to compete at adult sectionals for your section. For example, I would have to compete at adult Eastern sectionals, which I've done, well, before the pandemic. I used to do that. Let's go through the rules for this year and examine what has changed if you're interested in learning more or participating in the Adult Competition Series. Skaters that participate in the Adult Competition Series accumulate points based upon placement at local non-qualifying competitions. It used to be that you used to have to find a competition that was part of the Adult Competition Series. It couldn't just be any sanctioned competition. Now you're allowed to participate in any sanctioned competition, including virtual competitions, and submit your results from those competitions to the Adult Competition Series. These series placements determine the final placements within each section. But you do also have to participate in the non-qualifying competition that is held in conjunction with each adult sectional championship. I've participated in 2 of these, actually 3. The 2019 season, I was participating in the series. However, I did not compete at adult sectionals, which is the first time that I hadn't done that in 3 seasons. I had been doing adult sectionals since before the Adult Competition Series began, and because of everything that started to happen last March, the adult sectionals were being held in Philadelphia at the beginning of March, right before all the shutdowns happened. And I just decided that with everything going on, it wasn't right for me to participate that year. And then this year, this current season, the 2020 to 2021 season, they actually had to cancel the series because of all the closures. They've made a lot of changes to this program for the coming season. This is a 2021-22 season in an effort to make it more accessible to more skaters around the country. Because before, you might have to travel pretty extensively to get to a competition that was participating in the series. And you had to do a compulsory as well as a free skate event. Now you only have to do a free skate event at any US figure skating sanctioned competition. So it's a little different now, and I would agree that it's definitely more accessible. Just to clarify, there are two main elements of this program. The first is live or virtual US figure skating sanctioned events. And you can compete, if you want to participate, you can compete in sanctioned competitions anywhere in the United States that are during the series timeline. And in this case, that's any competition that begins May 28th, 2021 through February 20th, 2022, with adult 1 through 6, adult beginner, adult high beginner, adult pre-bronze, and adult bronze. And the competition can be either live or virtual, as long as it's a US figure skating sanctioned competition. According to the handbook, events that are adult 1 through 6, adult beginner, adult high beginner, and adult pre-bronze must be judged in 6.0. I have sent them an email asking about this because I know there's at least one adult competition that I've participated in the past that uses IJS to judge adult pre-bronze. So I'm a little concerned about that because that's a competition I like to participate in. And I do like to get my scores in IJS because it gives a little bit more information as to why you placed the way you did. It says that adult bronze may be judged either 6.0 or IJS. All you have to do once you compete in one of these sanctioned competitions is submit a photo or a scanned copy, email attachment, or a screenshot of your final results sheet. Just to give you an idea of what that looks like, here's one that was from one of the competitions I had participated in, which was part of the series a previous year. You have to send this to the Adult Skating Committee after the conclusion of the competition. The second requirement, or the second element, is the Adult Competition Series final event, which is what takes place at the non-qualifying competition that is held in conjunction with the Adult Sectional Championships. And you have to do this in your home region, and that's determined by the club. So if you are a member of a club that's in a certain section, that is your section. Even if you live in another part of the country, you have to participate in your home section. While you can begin competing May 28th, 2021, you won't be able to register for the series until December 15th, 2021 through February 1st, 2022. That's what they're calling the Adult Competition Series registration period. And it'll cost $20 to register, which is consistent with what it's cost in the past. So the way that the handbook makes this sound is that you can't submit any of your competition results until after you've registered. In most cases, you've probably participated in competitions before December. So you just have to save those, hold on to them, wait till you can register, and then send them to the Adult Skating Committee. But I'm sure as we move forward with this, they'll clarify that. And trophies for the series are presented to the first through the fourth. Last time I participated in the series, I placed fourth, which is pewter, and I did get a trophy, which was nice. Now, to be eligible, you must be a member in good standing of US Figure Skating or Learn to Skate USA. And you can be a member of any club that you choose. So like I'm a member of US Figure Skating through the Skating Club of New York. And you can compete either at your test level or at one level above it. And you must register for each of the competitions that you want to enter through the local club that is hosting the event. Entry fees vary depending upon which club is holding the event and what their fees are. All result submissions must be received by February 22nd, 2022. There are no exceptions. So I guess the best thing to do is just hold all your results until you get them all and then send them in one message maybe. Hopefully they'll clarify this. Or do you send them? Well, you can't really send them as you go because you have to wait until December to send any of them because you can't register for this until December. Points are awarded to each skater based upon your placement in the event. Let's use the example of my competition. In the case of this one, I came in first. There were 3 skaters and I placed first, so I would get 9 points. The more skaters there are, the more points you get. If I had placed first with 12 skaters, I would have gotten significantly more points for this. You can compete in as many competitions as you want, but only your top 3 scores are going to count. So, I mean, in theory, what you can do is you can just enter as many competitions as you want. They're going to drop anything other than your top 3. And you can move up a level in the series. So let's say that you start at adult beginner and you move up to adult high beginner. You earn 3 points for that. Now let's say you move up again from adult high beginner to adult pre-bronze. Then you get another 3 bonus points for that. But in order to keep those move up points, you have to continue to compete at the higher level for all the remaining competitions. And you can only get them twice per season. So you can't move up 5 times. You can only move up 2 times. So in the example I used before, adult beginner to adult high beginner to adult pre-bronze would be okay because that's moving up 2 levels during the season. But you'd have to stay at that level. So by the time you get to the non-qualifying events at the sectionals, you would need to be at adult pre-bronze at that point. You couldn't move back down or you would lose those additional points. So this is interesting. Results and standings will be posted January 3rd, 2022, and then every 2 weeks following. Final results before sectionals will be posted February 27th. That's pretty interesting. They had posted some standings and results before in the past, but there was no consistency or dates that were required. So it's nice that they're doing that. It's also nice that you don't have to do the compulsory and the free skate. It's difficult as an adult to find the time to train for 2 events. It's also difficult as an adult sometimes to budget that. So if you have to do at least 3 competitions with 2 events, and then the non-qualifying events at the sectional championships with 2 events, it can start to get costly, especially because some clubs will split those events over 2 days. So if you had to travel to a competition and the compulsories were on one day and then the free skate was on a different day, you often had to stay in a hotel, and that could get expensive. Sectionals take place March 4th through March 6th of 2022. In my section, the Eastern Adult Sectionals, that takes place at Crossroads Figure Skating Club in Havertown, probably saying it wrong. Havertown, Pennsylvania. I've been there. I just don't know how to say it. Midwesterns are at Eastern Iowa Skating Club in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. The dates are the same, March 4th through the 6th. And Pacific Coast Sectionals, Lilac City Figure Skating Club in Spokane, Washington, March 4th through March 6th, 2022. Same dates. So every section has their non-qualifying events and the championships for sectionals the same dates. So let me know. What are your thoughts about the new adult competition series, the changes that have been made this year? What do you think of them? Leave me a comment down below and let me know what your thoughts are. Will you participate? Are you thinking about it? Do you have any questions? Leave comments down below about that too. And if you like the video, please remember to give it a like. And if it could help someone else out, feel free to share it with them and also on your social media too. And remember, I post at least 3 videos a week. Some of them are about figure skating. If you're interested in that kind of content, be sure to subscribe and tap that bell so you never miss a video. This is Amy. Happy skating. I will see you real soon. Thank you for watching. Bye.